A data structure that holds multiple rows, multiple columns, and multiple different data types is a data frame. A data frame is the most common data structure that one finds within R that is similar to a table that one might find in a database or in a worksheet that one might find in Excel. A data frame in R is a rectangular collection of vectors. It is multiple vectors that have the same number of rows arranged one after the other. So a data frame has multiple vectors of the same length, but each vector can have a different data type. The data is arranged in rows, that is observations, and columns that are variables. There are a few rules that we need to adhere to while constructing and working with data frames. The first one is that columns or vectors should be non-empty. Each row or each vector needs to have the same length, or each row needs to have the same number of items. The data that is stored in a data frame can be of several different data types: numeric, factor, or character type data. Below you see a small piece of code that illustrates the manner in which to construct a data frame from different vectors. Now, there are several different operations that one can perform on a data frame, including the selection of rows, the selection of columns, selecting specific elements, and displaying certain portions of the data frame. To select specific columns of the data frame, one needs to use the dollar operator. By specifying the name of the column after the dollar sign preceded by the name of the data frame, one can select specific columns based on the name of the column. If the columns don't have names, one can specify the columns based on the column position by using square brackets and specifying the position of the column after the comma. If one wants to select specific rows of the data frame, one can again use the square brackets, specifying the number of the row that they are interested in prior to the comma. If one needs to select a specific element in the data frame, one needs to specify both the row and the column one is interested in. There are ways to display certain sections of the data frame, specifically the head and the tail, which indicate a set of rows that start the data frame off or terminate the data frame. By default, only the first 5 rows of a data frame are displayed when you specify head or tail. That can be customized by specifying a parameter called n that allows us to customize the number of rows we would like to display using the head or the tail function.